going for Josh Cousins, everybody.
So I usually start every set with this because when people see me, they often wonder, what am I? You know, I am biracial, I'm black and white, and I love it. I do, because I get to live both cultures. Now, obviously, one side of my family is comfortable saying the N-word, and the other side of my family is black. So the N-word, it's confusing to me, being both black and white. It is. I don't know how to take it. Like, it's weird when white people call me it because, I mean, really? Look at me. Like, I look like a Middle Eastern Adam Sandler. White people saying the N-word is like honeybees. You get to use that stinger once, and then you die. Oh, stinger, my bad. I meant sting-a. That's my fault, ladies. I apologize. Thank you. So this next joke, it's an early test to see just how cool you guys are going to be tonight, all right? So, like I said earlier, you know, I don't say the N-word, and some biracial people do, and that's cool. They can do that, you know? I choose not to. Yeah, I don't say the N-word for the same reason that I don't work on the roof. I'm not the right shade of brown. All right, it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. So I wanted to perform in Nashville for a long time, I have, because this town, it has everything I love. I mean, you guys have a great food scene here, great food scene, best music spot in the world, and is the birthplace of Hawk Tua. You guys, birthplace of spitting on dicks. You guys are disgusting. You are. I'm shocked that that whole thing took off. I am. It's weird, right? Because it's gross. Like, you guys know what the hawk part is, right? That's phlegm and mucus. You guys are hawking loogies on dudes here in Nashville. It's disgusting. Like, if you got hawked a loogie on when I was little, you had to fight that person. Like, if I get hawked to it, I might hit a woman when she's finished. I'm not gonna stop, you know? You guys were in the news about a month and a half ago. You guys remember when John Bon Jovi saved that woman from jumping off the bridge? Yeah, that was amazing, right? Like, I just imagine that when he walked by her and he saw her on the bridge, he's just like, whoa! We're halfway there. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. I'm just glad it was John Bon Jovi and not like another 80s rock star like Eddie Van Halen. He'd have been like, might as well jump. No, I love it here. There's two things I've noticed about Nashville since being here. You guys have beautiful women. The women here are gorgeous, and you guys have your priorities straight. You really do. And I mean, apparently these beautiful women aren't huge fans of stand-up comedy, but that's okay. I'll catch them after the show. But no, you guys do have your priorities straight. I was at dinner last night, out to dinner at a restaurant, and this family started to pray right before they had their meal. They were like, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and the head football coach for winning game last week. Alabama's coming to town. We better get this shit figured out. No, you guys do have your priorities straight. Not where I come from. We didn't. I'm originally from Ohio, but don't worry, my pets are well. They are. They're medium well, which is perfect. It really is. I can't believe the former president said people from Ohio eat their pets. Like, why does he think it's okay to talk about Skyline Chili's secret ingredient? I mean, he's got to put a small business. No, I grew up in Ohio. I played youth football there, but I was a fat kid growing up. And in Ohio, they have to designate you too heavy to run the ball so you don't hurt other kids. And I know, right? And it's like wearing a scarlet letter. But instead of a red A on your chest for adultery, I had a huge duct tape X on my helmet. Yeah, and it stood for stop feeding him. some things from your childhood, they stick with you, right? I mean, to this day, still, I am still embarrassed to be from Ohio. Now, I was in a middle school in Ohio when 9/11 happened, and even after seeing the events of that day, I still chose to serve in the military, and I think that says something about me. Like, I knew we were going to war, yet I was still willing to sacrifice my health and potentially my life just to get out of Ohio. You guys catching on? Ohio sucks, right? But at least it's not Kentucky. I mean, this is true. This is true. Kentucky has the world's smallest church. They can hold 3 people: the officiant, the bride, and the bride's brother. That's it. That's it.
Kentucky here.
From Kentucky? So, am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. You can calm the hell down, man. Oh man, this is fun. When I was in the military, I learned that the branches of the service, they're weird. They are. Because we serve the same country and we talk all the time, but essentially speak a different language. There's a different word for yes in every branch of the service. Like the word for yes in the Army is "oh." That's what they say. "Oh." In the Marines, it's "oorah." And in the Air Force, it's "uh-huh." Is anybody in here tonight active duty, has served, or affiliated with the military? If that's you, make some noise. Anyone in here? You? Yes, sir. What's your name?
Neck.
Did you say neck or neck? I was going to say, if you're from Kentucky, I would expect to hear neck, but you said neck. Neck?
Yep.
Okay, and what branch of the service were you in?
Marines.
The Marines? All right, now be honest with me. Like, how many times did it take you to pass kindergarten? 2? 3? What are we talking about? 5? Okay. Quick learner. And is this your date right here?
Yep.
What's your name is?
Martina.
Martina, much better than neck. But don't you think it's incredibly brave that he came out in front of all of us here tonight? Isn't that beautiful?
I would expect nothing
It's a
less.
beautiful thing, isn't it? And Nick, how many years did you serve in the Marines?
4.
4 years. Hey, thank you for your service. Make some noise for Thank you for your service. I mean that, dude. And honestly, guys, that's all it takes. If you know someone in the military or know a veteran or who someone's in the military, just say that. Say thank you for your service. It means a lot. But if you really want to show appreciation for veterans like myself, go down on us. That doesn't come from nowhere. There's an actual law when you're in the military. This is true. There's a law that says you can't do anything sexual outside of the missionary position. That is real. So it's important. While you're down there, remember, support the troops. Hey, you guys were cool earlier. Stay with me. So no, obviously that's my old job. I have a new job now, and going to work is hard for me. It is. Because there's this guy in my office who makes me question my sexual orientation. He is fine. I mean, honestly, when I see this guy, I think to myself, it can't taste that bad, can it? Now, I was telling my wife about how good looking this guy is, and she said, oh, I hope I get to meet him. And as soon as she said that, guys, I got super jealous. Because if I can't have him, then no one can. Now, I was at work. I was having a conversation with this woman. We were talking about the gym. And she asked, she goes, you know, I assume you keep your physique looking a certain way because that's what your wife likes. And I was like, my wife? I don't do this for my wife. No, I do this for one person, and that's my girlfriend. My girlfriend. Now, at work, they like to refer to us as a work family. Have you guys heard of this? Like a work family? I think that saying is stupid because your relationships at work should be different than your relationships at home. This woman came up to me and said, Josh, I think I might be your work wife. And I was like, no, you're not. See, I've got one of those at home. I don't need another one. And besides, you know, I don't want the sex to stop. Once I started seeing a little bit of success in stand-up, my family wanted to be included in jokes, which I think is dumb because I can share anything I want up here. Like my brother, who is 38 years young, suffers from erectile dysfunction. End of joke. That's it. I've just been sharing that all across the country and now on television. So. Now that same brother is obsessed with escape rooms. It's embarrassing. Like he has a spreadsheet of all the ones he's done, who he did them with, how long it took him to do it. So even if he could get it up, he wouldn't be using it. But he's my brother, so I leaned into this obsession, and for his birthday, I set him up with the most difficult escape room you can imagine. And do you know, it has been 4 months since I got him that gift, and he is still locked in my basement. My aunt died about a week before my wedding, and she was the one family member that I didn't want my wife to meet, so it was okay. It was fine. And she was in town for the wedding when she was hit by a car, and I saw the whole thing. And I'll be honest with you guys, after it happened, it took me a really long time to get my windshield fixed. And my wife called me immediately after she learned about the accident. She called to check in, and she asked, "Is it done?" Now, my other brother, he turned 40 this year, and that's a big birthday, right? And because of that, I wanted to do something special for him. So I decided, I would make him a card using my own words. And it turned out to be a little more difficult than I thought to get the message that I wanted to convey to his 40th birthday, but I nailed it. Here's what I came up with. It said, "As you round out another year, I hope it ends with a bang, like Old Yeller." I told that joke in Greenville, South Carolina, and after the show, this woman comes up to me and she goes, "I can't believe you said you want your brother to shoot himself." And I was like, "Oh my God, no, that's not true. I don't want that. Let me be clear. I don't care how he does it." I am a father. My wife and I, we have 2 kids. We have one of each. What I mean by that is our oldest looks just like me. I mean, exactly like me. And our youngest looks just like our neighbor. It's wild. It is. Now, my wife is a very loyal woman. She's only slept with one man her entire life, and I can't wait to meet him. That lucky bastard. No, my wife, I love my wife very much. I would do anything for my wife. And I know that because I've done some things I never thought I would do. Like my wife asked me to participate in a rape fantasy, and I did it. And I learned that rape fantasies are a lot like eating Taco Bell. Like you shouldn't do it all the time. It helps if you're drunk. And my ass hurt for like 3 days afterwards. I could feel some of you pulling back, and I got you back in. No, my wife is great. She's a former collegiate athlete, and it's awesome being married to an athlete. It is. It just makes everything around the house so much easier. And I trust if I throw something to her, she's going to catch it. Like, it's your turn to change them. Now, I think parents now, they're getting a little lazy. They're leveraging technology too much, like on things that used to be common sense. When you turn a car off now, it tells you to check your back seat. And as a parent, I find that insulting. It's like, I know he's back there. I put him in his car seat. And when I get back, he'll still be there. I love being a dad. It's the best. It is. When our 2 boys were younger, I used to put them to bed every night. That was my thing. And our oldest son would wake up every morning yelling, "I'm alive! I'm alive!" And I would wake up frustrated, like, ugh. It didn't work. Didn't work. Now, my oldest son is exactly like me, which is great because whenever he gets in a certain mood, I know what to give him to get him out of that mood, because it's what I would need in that same scenario. For example, like when he's being snippy, short, or irritable, I'm like, come here, little buddy. Let's go get you laid. Come on. Let's go. Now, he is the sweetest kid. My oldest is the sweetest. He came to me upset the other day because at school, he noticed how some kids get picked on more than others. And I told him, buddy, it's great you noticed that, but what matters is that you treat everyone with kindness. Because people are like farts. The loud ones, they'll get your attention, but the silent ones, they'll clear a room. Stay with me, Nashville. Now, the youngest son, completely different, right? The youngest sibling always is something different. Like, we had a really hard time keeping our youngest son from touching people in their private parts. And it was hard because we tried everything, and nothing was working. And finally, I came down on him pretty hard, and I yelled at him. And he started crying. He said, Daddy, if I can't touch people there, then no one will like me. And I said, oh, buddy, that is not true. I mean, I still love your mother. Now, the youngest is always something different. I did a weekend worth of shows in New York City, and when I got home, I found that my youngest had stayed awake because he wanted to see me. And the first thing he says to me is, Daddy, you're balder than I remember. And I looked up at him and I was like, yep. And you're lucky the clinic was closed. Now, I think it's interesting what Planned Parenthood is doing with these mobile abortion clinics. Have you guys heard about this? No? So they drive around dispensing morning after pills, right? Now, I like to think of it like the ice cream truck. But when the abortion truck is coming through the neighborhood, over the loudspeaker, you hear them bumping NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. That was the line I crossed tonight, Nashville. Okay, here's another one. I'm going to stay with it. So I'm sure you guys probably know this. You're a smart crowd. But did you guys know UPS truck drivers are not called truck drivers? They're called package delivery drivers because that's what they do. They deliver packages. So using that same rationale, abortion truck drivers should be called terminators. Because that's what they do. Told you I was staying with it. Now, I'm doing my best to be a good dad. But ladies, you're making it real hard to raise good kids nowadays. You are. I mean, with your OnlyFans accounts and your stuff just hanging out all over Instagram, it is really hard to pay attention to the kids. It is. I'm doing my best. I am. I'm trying my best. And I pay attention to what my kids eat, close attention to what they eat. And I don't let them eat Little Debbie snack cakes because I think she is sending the wrong message. I mean, with products like Nutty Buddies, Ding Dongs, and cream pies, Little Debbie, she's a ho-ho. All right, Nashville, I'm going to leave you guys with this one. I got one more for you. You guys have been fantastic. Give it up for yourselves. You guys have been awesome. You guys are hanging there with me, I appreciate it. But I think it's our job as comedians to call out things that are happening around us. And regardless if you're on the right side of the aisle or the left side of the aisle, I think we all can agree, right? The fact that the former president turned his head at the exact moment, causing a bullet to graze his ear, that is a miracle. That is an act of God. That is God looking down going, you know what? I'm not ready to deal with this guy yet. All right, Nashville, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much.